Okay, we're going.
We're going.
We're going. We had to stop midweek to get this in because there's just too much going on right now. We cannot wait until Monday.
Tuesday, really. And
Really,
Tuesday
Tuesday.
is just going to be way too late. So on the goat of the messiness, aka Diana Taurasi, on her birthday, we got a bunch of bullshit.
I'm a hot girl. I get anything I want. This is my world. I make big moves in my big heels. Since the day that I was born, I've been a big deal.
So the emergency podcast is needed. Welcome to Let Her Shoot. All the drama that you need to get you through the weekend. We're doing this on a Friday afternoon. Why? Because there's just too much tea to talk about. Sarah Chavnik, two-time Emmy winner, Trysta and Ollie laying out, crashed out. Not crashing out like these girls did. Tell you that. More like night-night sleep mask for Ollie. Today we're going to talk about all the drama that went on around the WNBA. We got Dijonai Carrington, Satou Sabally. What went on there? What went on between the Lynx and the Storm when the Storm gave the Lynx their very first loss of the season in a Commissioner's Cup in Seattle, I might add. It is just hilarious. The Stud Buds, a.k.a. Tish Heidemann, and Courtney Williams, they talked about the drama as well. And then, Kalia Copper and Angel Reese sort of kind of had a little, back and forth, which I think is kind of just a fun little exchange, but looked like beef upon first glance. So, Sarah,
We had to. I'm calling this, by the way. This is our first mini episode, and I'm pretty stoked for it. I hope we do more of these. But I'm going to call it a tea party because that's essentially what this is. We got to start with what happened on Wednesday night with the Wings, the Dallas Wings, and the Phoenix Mercury, and
a.k.a. the GOAT, Diana Taurasi's birthday. All of this occurred on Diana Taurasi's birthday.
DT, happy birthday to you, because we had a gift, and that was a showdown. So forget, first of all, Paige had 35 points, which was her best showing in her rookie season so far. She comes out of the locker room wearing an AZ shirt. You know, she's hyped. She looks like a little kid.
She's just not. They're
excited.
not hiding. They're not hiding it in. They're really doing everything that they can to say, "Hey guys, we're together."
Hey, we're together. Did you see AZ liked another TikTok of as long as Paige is winning off the court and has AZ's love, and AZ liked it, and I just love that for them.
And it had a very baby, 17. I forget what the music was.
Well, I found a woman stronger.
I think it was an Ed Sheeran song. Yeah,
It was
I found the love of a woman or something like that. And it's
And she was yep, smash the like button there.
Smash that like button. I love her for that. I love that AZ is just out here on TikTok checking her own tags. You know,
just being messy. So this is Paige's first game coming back from a concussion and a sickness. They played the Phoenix Mercury in Phoenix.
Yep.
Satou Sabally. I think it's Sabally, actually. Satou Sabally used to play on the Dallas Wings. Mm-hmm. So
for 5 years.
They
drafted
5 years.
Her. Yep.
And as soon as she was able to get up out of there, she got up out of there and let them know, hey, I don't want to be here anymore. This place fucking sucks. And honestly, the reason why is because nobody has ever been happy in Dallas in their life besides Arike Ogunbowale, which is even more of shame that they're going to probably let her walk. Natasha Howard left, I think, a 10,000-word think piece on Players Tribune, I believe, when she left.
A lot.
Alicia Gray, Marina Mabry, Skylar Diggins, multiple players and stars have been in Dallas and said, thank you, but no thank you. So then she gets out of there. She goes to Phoenix. This is the first game that she'll play against the Dallas Wings. And the social media team, which I think is hilarious, they ask all the Phoenix Mercury players, what's your favorite flavor of wings?
Wings. What's your favorite flavor of wings, by the way?
Lemon pepper.
Ooh, controversial.
Hard to get a good lemon pepper, but when you get an excellent one, it changes your life. Otherwise, just simple buffalo. So they ask.
No, it's okay. Mine is buffalo. Thank you for asking.
I was just in the middle of this and you derailed me. So they asked Satou, hey, what's your favorite wing flavor? Mm-hmm. And she said,
I don't really eat wings anymore.
I don't eat wings anymore. Okay, so that's the stage. That's the one part of the stage.
That's where we're at.
That's part one of the stage. Part two of the stage happens pregame.
Pregame.
The night before.
Well, that was pregame too. That
well, no,
whole
I mean, it
wing
happens the
comment
night
was-
before. Happens the night
right.
before, where on the Phoenix or on the Dallas side, excuse me, where Dijonai Carrington, who's blocked us, who's been in the news a lot, and her girlfriend Nalissa Smith, who are playing on the same team in Dallas, and I have to say, Sarah, they're kind of messy.
I'm going to get back to this whole thing in a second, because we're going to talk about this on our show on Monday too, about players and teammates dating. We're going to get back to all this. However,
So she was out at the pool.
at the hotel, yeah.
At the hotel prior to the game the night before with Liz.
Hey, our warden is speaking. Who said that? P5 said we gotta go to bed.
Enrique's coming out of the window. Hey, go to bed. Paige is coming out the window. Hey, go to bed. So
Paige
now,
comments on the TikTok, hey, go to bed.
Yep. So these two things are happening simultaneously before the game. Now go ahead.
So what I was going to tell you was, I don't know if you saw the other video so they posted like a couple videos on TikTok, and I don't know if they were live or what was going on. The video kind of looked like from a live, but what I saw was just a clip, and someone must have asked about AZ, and
Oh yeah.
Nalissa says,
Oh yeah, AZ to the what we on? The wings. AZ to the wings.
and I gotta say, this whole thing gives like, I don't give a shit if this team ever wins another game. I don't give a shit.
It's like, I just need somewhere to play, dog. There's only, a handful of teams, two handfuls worth of teams I can play at. I'm with my girlfriend. I'm parlaying. We're at the pool. We're in Phoenix. Who gives a fuck?
I'm just here so I don't get fined. That's what this whole energy was. So we go to the game now, and
Paige is 35.
Paige is 35, which is, they still lost the game. The Wings
Mercury
lost the game.
whooped that ass.
Mercury whooped that ass. And at one point you see there's like a clip that went around of Satou looking over at the Dallas bench, saying something. It's so far away you can't see what she's saying. And Dijonai immediately like squares up, like stands up, like she's going to go over to Satou. Satou walks down the court. The game ends, and things really start to unravel after the end of this.
Things
Escalate.
are escalating.
We're like, and you can tell this whole game that like the peacemakers on both sides of the court, like both teams, Alyssa Thomas and Enrique are like, and Paige are like trying to keep peace and like trying to, but it gets a little chippy when
Feels like it's dying down until
you have the Wings and the Mercury both in a team huddle, and Satou, with her back to the Wings, turns around and does this, and
the drinking motion. She takes her thumb and her pinky to her face and does the cowabunga sign, and then says something.
It looks
drinking.
like what people, the lip readers of the internet, say that it looks like she said, "Keep drinking," and it's very clearly like pointed. The gesture is pointed towards Dijonai.
Considering we all kind of wondered that maybe they were drinking the night before by the pool.
Right. Dijonai immediately goes to curb the rest of the team, go around to see Satou. Paige goes to grab her and pull her back. You have like a trainer who's like trying to get in the middle of these two huddles, and it just starts going back and forth. And you have Enrique's jumping in the middle. You have Alyssa pulling Dijonai off of the group. You have Melissa is like, you see her go around. She gets in Satou's face. So I don't know what was going on. I don't know what was said, but it definitely wasn't just that one comment. It was something that had been building throughout the entire game, and there was obviously a lot of bitterness on Satou's end that she just hurled something at Dijonai.
It's crazy. It honestly, I don't understand what she could have said or why she could have said it. And she's not going to have so much bitterness towards the Wings that she would point that all in the direction of a player who just fucking got there. Wasn't even like she was a former teammate at all.
That's what's confusing is like she seems to have a lot of kind of anger towards the Wings, like from the Wings comment early on and then from just sort of the whole hijinks during the game. But I will say this because out of curiosity, I saw a tweet that said something along the lines of like, Satou needs to quit taking her anger out on Dallas and take her anger out on Enrique, who that's really pointed to, or like who it's really about, which I don't know. I mean, do you know of any drama between Enrique and Satou? I don't, but I did check, and neither of them follow the other on social media anymore.
I don't know anything about that, but we do know the one thing between Satou and Dijonai that could have been like something that started the bubbling is that they played each other one-on-one in Unrivaled. So they were both obviously players on Unrivaled. Feels like Satou beat her because Dijonai was 2 for 12. So I don't think you can get to 11 being 2 for 12.
No,
Satou 5 for 16.
Math on that.
Math ain't mathin'. And she committed 3 fouls on Dijonai. So maybe that had something to do with it. Maybe their time in Miami. You know, the thing about Miami in this Unrivaled, which I absolutely love, is it's just going to create more opportunities for this stuff
drama
in the WNBA because they're basically all in one little like training camp setting together, all in the same place. They're training in the same training room together. They're eating their meals together. They're not leaving Miami. The entire season is there. In the same hotel.
In like the same commune. Yeah.
They're really like it's a pressure cooker. And, you know, it's like very much one of those things where it's like, this is where you get closer and you bond. But this is also where you can't fucking stand somebody because you've been around them for 2 months in the off season. And she's now just getting on your goddamn nerves. And then you see her again in the regular WNBA season. It's like, she probably knows that Dijonai would be drinking. If she was watching her and I don't know this to be true, but if you say that, it's not because of one video.
I don't think that this beef started last night. I mean, or
Wednesday night. Yep.
I don't think it started Wednesday night. Whatever it was had something that was, I mean, because I know that Dijonai and can be labeled a little bit as a hothead. You know, we've heard that before.
The allegations aren't going away.
But I will say, to have that level of and then the entire, because it looked as if you watch this video, it looked as if the entire team is kind of like waiting for this pressure cooker to explode. Like you can see Paige like has her hand on, well, first of all, it starts even earlier than that. Right after the game ended, Alyssa Thomas comes over to start talking to Dijonai about whatever.
They were former teammates in Connecticut.
Former teammates, right. So they're just catching up, buddies, whatever you got to assume. And Dijonai immediately puts her hand out and blocks the camera. And is like, I don't want the camera to look at me or whatever. And Paige jumps in between and says, you can see her mouth to somebody like, oh, I'm just blocking the camera. So there's something already going on here at that point that like, I've seen, and I haven't been able to confirm again because Dijonai blocked us, so I don't know. But I saw people saying that Dijonai's grandfather had passed away earlier this week and was you know, obviously had a lot of emotions about that. I don't know if that was true. But then I also saw other people saying that he had passed a while ago and there was some sort of anniversary that was that night or you know, we don't know. You never know why anyone reacts, why they react, like unless you know them personally.
Satou's not the one for you to fuck with when Kennedy Carter's ass comes down from the clouds. Comes down from the clouds. And Kennedy Carter from Mexico and is spicy. You know, one of the most spicy players in the league, kind of like Dijonai-esque. And she says, for those saying Satou not like that, I remember when I snatched the ball from her. She most definitely will come with the same energy all game. So maybe Dijonai did something early on in the game and Satou took exception and she will continue to come for your ass.
I did see, and I didn't watch the game. I only have seen the clips and bits and pieces. I did see a photo, though, when I was kind of looking into all this history, that it was like both Satou and Dijonai on the ground wrestling over a ball. So, I mean, there's a good chance that that's what kind of sparked.
That's probably why Kennedy Carter said, I tried to snatch a ball from Satou, and she came for me the entire game after that.
This seemed deeper than a ball snatch. This seemed like to keep chirping after the game is we're done. We're done at that point. Like, go to our... And the announcers, like, you can tell that they're confused because they're like, do we talk about this? Like, what's going on? We don't know. Why isn't security getting involved?
The mascot doesn't even know whether he should be firing the shirt into the stand. He's like, is this an appropriate time for me to use the shirt cannon? The dancers are still dancing in the background. The video's comedy.
The video's comedy. I saw another video, too, that was, like, a woman taking a video of her son dancing after the game, and in the background, like, you see it all happening, and you're just like, what the hell is happening? What is going on here? It was a lot of drama.
It was. More drama, though, ensued in the Storm versus Minnesota Lynx game in Seattle. So, for context, that's a Commissioner's Cup game, and a Commissioner's Cup game is different than a regular game. So... there's 5 Commissioner Cup games, right? Mm-hmm. And there's 5. Every team plays 5 intra-conference Cup games. Only one team per conference is going to go to the Cup final. And if teams tie in their record, which when you only have 5 games, you're going to tie somebody, the first tiebreaker is through point differential, right? So you need to run up the score if you can. And the winner of the Commissioner's Cup the team wins $500,000. So that's $30,000 per player. And when you're only getting paid $78,000 on a rookie scale, that's like half your salary. Yeah. So you kind of have to keep your foot on the gas. So we've got the Minnesota Lynx, who were undefeated, right? Mm-hmm. And then somehow, some way, we've got the Seattle Storm beating that ass, right? But so it's 5 seconds left, and it looks like Erica Wheeler's just one of the players for the Storm's who's got actually a great story. She used to play with Caitlin Clark in the Fever. She's an incredible person. It's 5-point-something seconds left. Looks like she was going to just dribble it out, win the game. And she goes by Kayla McBride, who plays for the Lynx, and just gets an easy layup instead. And Kayla McBride, who's pretty calm, loses her fucking mind, gets all in Erica Wheeler's face, which there's a big size differential between them, which there is with Satou and Dijonai, by the way.
Right, yeah.
And then both teams converge differently than in the Mercury situation with the Wings. Like, those were two different crews kind of staying away from each other, and then Dijonai and Satou. No, this was 2 crews.
This was a bench clearing moment.
Yes. Yeah. There's a little scuffle. So then Lynx guard Tish Hedeman and Storm guard Skylar Diggins, they get into a little thing. Skylar pushes her hand away, gets physical. We don't know what, at this point when we're watching it, what has happened. We just know the Storm gave the Lynx their first loss. Why are they taking this so goddamn seriously? And then we finally found out what that was about. And I'm going to play this
Stud
for
buds.
you. The Stud Buds. So Courtney Williams, who's a guard for the Lynx, has a Twitch stream with Tish Hedeman. They both have colored their hair pink.
Can't wait for them to get on the show one day. We got to get them on.
Cannot wait. So they talk about it.
I went over there to de-escalate the situation because I'm the de-escalator. And I went like this.
Do it. Don't do how you did
I
it.
did.
Because I did tell
I
you.
did.
Show them how you did it.
Wait, sit back down. It's what I did. I said this.
And she said, show that.
Then I said, ooh. Ooh.
She said, get your hand on me.
She said, don't touch me. I said, whoa. That whole little crush that I thought I had is out the window. It's gone.
Who was beefed out with somebody and says that little crush I had on you? It's out the window.
And you know what she told me? You know what she told me? She said, shut up. You still like me.
That's wild. We'll play the video, cut the video in it when we do the video clip for this, but it is tremendous content.
It's, by the way, there is not a way to watch those two without like just a shit-eating grin like on your face. They're just the best thing right now.
They're already stars. They're already stars.
I would watch an hour-long show, daily show of them. Just
chopping it up about the league.
Just like talking about literally anything.
Yep. They're hilarious. I love them.
I love
Anyway,
them.
so
I
that
love them.
occurred really quick, just to put a bow on the whole Mercury Wings thing. So the Wings got beaten by the Mercury, and the WNBA put out a 2-minute and 30-second post giving all the highlights from Wednesday's action. Which, why is it being played? Why are these games being played only when the MNBA finals are on and not
That's
when
a whole
the days
other
off
thing,
are going
yeah.
on? Anyway, so
That's
they put
ridiculous.
together this 2-minute and 30-second highlight clip, bunch of clips a page, fair enough. No clips of the Phoenix Mercury. No clips. And
Can I
Clea
give you
Copper
my-
was like, yo, you need to do better.
Can I give you my conspiracy theory?
Sure.
Do you want my conspiracy theory about all this?
Always.
So the NBA takes 40% of the WNBA profit, right?
Yep.
40%. And right now the players are arguing with the CBA that
Oh, so
it
you
needs to
you
be-
think that the NBA is colluding with the WNBA
Yes.
to keep the women. So you think that
Yes.
you think that also somebody put the put a little something in Caitlin Clark's drink to make her injured for 3 weeks so that the ratings would go
not
down?
that. No, not that.
You
However,
think that
I
somebody
do...
concussed Paige as well?
Okay. Can I get back to my conspiracy theory now?
But all of
My
it's
conspiracy-
designed to make the WNBA
No.
ratings go down so that they don't have
No,
to pay
it's
them?
not about the ratings. No, it's not about the ratings. In my personal opinion, the CBA right now that they're trying to argue is that the players deserve a 50-50 share of rights and revenue and same model that the NBA has. And the NBA keeps the WNBA via the NBA use the excuse of, well, we lost $50 million last year.
Well, that's what I'm trying to
right?
say, but the ratings are a piece of that.
But what I'm saying is, I think that they don't want to set the WNBA up for success, so they don't have to pay them more.
But that's all ratings related.
You know these dates, right? Like, this is not a surprise. How do you accidentally only schedule MNBA on the same nights
No, it's
as the
horrible.
WNBA?
It's horrible.
Like, that's not an accident. Someone did that on purpose.
And it's not
why?
even just that it's on the same day, it's that it's at the same time.
At the same time, it's competing broadcasts, and you're not going to get people to watch a random Dallas Wings and Mercury game over Game 3 of the WNBA Finals. I mean, of the NBA Finals.
Which was an all-timer.
Did you see all the Caitlin Clark stans? I'm not going to call them fans because I think that requires a level of like
Knowledge.
But the Caitlin Clark stans have taken to hijacking reporters' emails off of their bios on the internet to vote for her for the WNBA All-Star game.
That's incredible.
It's not funny, but it is kind of funny that they're doing this.
It
we
is
see this.
funny.
This happens-
It is
this happens
funny.
Didn't the Taylor Swift fans do this for Travis Kelce?
I think they did. I also think that, remember we had all those K-pop people pretending to buy tickets for the Trump rally, just so
that was so
just
funny.
so that
So
the
they thought it
Trump
was
rally
sold out.
could be empty. See, that's funny. These are funny things.
This is
okay?
funny. It's a funny troll. Listen,
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark is gonna probably. I mean, it probably wouldn't
She's
matter if
making
they were
an
voting for her or not.
All-Star
She's
game
gonna
anyway.
make the All-Star game regardless. Like she could get one vote and they'd put her in the All-Star game because they understand how ratings work. But
You mean to tell me where the WNBA All-Star game is in Indianapolis,
and they're worried she
Caitlin
won't make
Clark could have 0 votes, which she wouldn't, and she would still be an All-Star for the
Yeah.
All-Star game being in her city. There's no way.
I also think personally, kind of like American Idol voting, I think I think All-Star voting is a
on.
bunch of bullshit because
Of
no
course.
one is the league is picking that. No, fans aren't picking that.
Also, if you're voting, like, can I just be a little bit elitist here? If you're older than 18 and you're voting for athletes to make the All-Star game,
Go touch
get a
grass.
life, bro. Get a life.
Go touch some grass.
If you're older than 18 and you're voting for singers on The Voice, get a life. Get a life. Go outside. What are you doing?
That reminds me, but you need to download the Love Island app.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Couple that you like the best.
I'm not doing that. I'm not downloading an app. What? Come on. All right, we got to go. So we got to talk about
I got
another
it on
piece
mine.
of course you do. You're the person I'm talking about. Fucking get a life, Sarah. All right, so Kristen Press has been the subject of multiple segments of this show so far. Her fans are just as insane as Caitlin Clark's, and Kristen Press decided she was going to go on the record about the first time people found out that her and Tobin Heath were together.
Yeah, I listened to this podcast. I love Tobin
whole
and Kristen. I listened to, well, I didn't listen to the whole thing. I listened to like the halfway through. But they were talking about how their relationship when it began and the way that the fans would sneak and try to find information, right? Kind of not dissimilar to the Paige and AZ stands right now that we see, like, you know, that dig up old photos and like, oh, they were at this place at the same time and we can figure that out by, you know, because she went and ate there and then she went and ate there and then in an interview they both talked about that restaurant. It's like, whoa, okay.
Again.
Touch grass. Touch
Yeah.
some grass, right? So they talk about this. Like, so people used to call them Preeth, like that was their name, like Paisley, right? And they talk about this on their podcast and about like how people were shipping them before they were even together. They had a hard time really understanding like how to get into their relationship because of all this nosiness from others and people determining what their relationship meant. And like they were talking about, and they didn't say necessarily, they didn't give like specific instances, but they talked about it and how like it kind of outed them and how they're proud to be that. And they also talked about it from the perspective of like, but we also realized that it was bigger than us, that like people were clamoring for that representation because they needed that representation.
Because also we knew it's kind of like very not dissimilar to a degree as Paige and AZ, because Kristen Press presents very straight.
Yes.
And AZ presents very straight. And you can say what you want about Paige. You see whatever you want to see in Paige. I think Paige is the kind of
She does the bun.
she does the lesbian bun. Okay, that's
She does the lesbian
the
bun.
ones that the one that you're wearing right now.
Yeah,
So you,
right,
but
exactly.
so like Tobin, you just look at Tobin and you know Tobin's for the girls.
You know.
You
right.
know, so it's not dissimilar. They also talked about how they got caught kissing under a tree and they didn't know how long they were kissing for. Or
It was at like it was after like a training at like a national team camp and
Yep.
they got caught by somebody and she was talking about how she got into, I can't remember if it was Kristen or Tobin talking about how they got into an argument with Megan Rapinoe, who said that like they needed to tell the team, and they were like, we don't need to tell the team, and it was like
Rapinoe's so messy. What you mean? You want us to go on record?
it was right, and back then they were also talking about like, you know, this was a different era of the national team, and like people weren't really as
Loud and proud.
then.
Loud and
Yeah,
proud.
exactly. And would that have been different? Anyway, it was a good little segment. It's nice seeing them 10 years later, like happy and married with their dog and their own company and a podcast, you know?
And somebody needs to send this clip to Paisley. Both of them.
Yes.
That's all. That's all. We really got to go because there's somebody who's renting out this podcast in 5 minutes.
All right.
So that's all the time that we have for this episode of Let Her Shoot. We'll see y'all
Have a great
Tuesday. Have a great weekend. I hope this episode catches you up on all the drama. And we'll see you next week.
Asta. Let her shoot.
Let her shoot.
I'm a hot girl. I get anything I want.